Good morning, YouTube. Thanks for tuning back into my channel. It's been like over a month, like 2 months since I made a video about anything at all. So sorry about that if you care. It is Monday, July 31st. Yep. And it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I should not be up right now. I thought there was a possibility that I may have to go to work this morning, but Lord, thank you, Jesus, I don't have to go to work until 2. So I'm gonna make this video real quick, and then I'm going to go back to bed. Some of you might know I just got back from a wedding this past weekend. My family in Saginaw, my aunt got married. I had a really good time. It was really fun to see a lot of family that I haven't seen in a while. So that was really fun. I also, while I was up there, had an opportunity, more than one time it came up, to talk to my younger cousin and a lot of her friends, and just a couple other ladies in general as well, about menstrual cups again. And my cousin had a few questions. I also had a conversation about them with a more recent coworker not too long ago, and she had some questions as well. And as I've already made clear in my video like 2 months ago, I am a huge fan of cups, and I think that they are just so smart, you know, and it's very wasteful and very just kind of dumb to not be using cups. In my last video that I did about them, I don't know, I haven't watched that video even since I made it, but I know I probably mentioned, you know, something about how they are good for the environment because they're non-disposable, which, you know, is true, and how, you know, you can put one in and be good to go for 10, 12, maybe 14 hours if you're real lucky, if your flow is light or whatever. So, like, they're really, really, really great for times when, like, okay, you know, maybe I won't be able to get to a bathroom, like, every hour if I need to change my tampon or whatever, you know, like, okay, you don't have to worry about that then, you know, you're good to go for half the day or all night long or whatever you want to do. I don't know. But I cannot stop talking about these things. They are so great. So I'm going to make another video about them. I'm going to show them to you. Again, I have mine in right now. I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to show you how much blood is in it, because that was one of the questions. And, you know, one of the people that I did speak to about it, you know, that was kind of their main concern. It was like, well, I kind of want to try one, and I'd like to, you know, learn more about it, but I've been told that, you know, it's just a bloody mess, and, you know, I don't know if I could deal with that. Excuse me. Still kind of recovering from this wedding. It was so much fun. Okay. So I'm really tired. I want to do this and try to show you guys as much as possible without showing you too much, so I can go back to bed. So, let's get started. First thing, and another thing I was going to add to what I was saying just a second ago. They are environmentally friendly because it's not a disposable product. They recommend that you get a new one every year, just for sanitation reasons and whatnot. But really, I mean, really, they'll just keep on lasting and lasting and lasting. Um, it's medical grade silicone. It's the same thing they make breast implants out of, and stuff when you have plastic surgery and stuff like that. So like, it ain't going nowhere. There's nothing's. It's not gonna like get messed up, and you're not gonna be able to use it. The only thing that would mess it up is probably like if you I mean, I'm sure it could melt somehow. Like if it got exposed to some really high heat, it might get like warped or misshapen if it was exposed to a really high heat. That would really be the only thing that I could think of that might cause it to not might cause you to have to get a new one earlier than like what they recommend. But so like when you go to the drugstore and buy one, they're like $35-$40. Like I said, I got mine as a gift, the one that I use the majority of the time, because I have more than one, which is also not necessary, but I just love them that much. The one that I use most of the time was given to me as a gift, and positive it was ordered out of Amazon, but I don't know how much it cost. It is the Athena cup. I no longer have the box for it or anything like that, but that's the brand Athena, like the goddess or Hercules' sister or wife, or I don't know who she was. But yeah, so they're good for the environment. They're good for if you're not somewhere where you might have access to a bathroom all the time. And they're just really good for your body because you're not shoving a bleached out cotton tampon up your vagina and letting it sit up there for however long. And like tampons absorb your blood, but they also absorb the natural, not that blood isn't natural, just the natural fluids in your body, and it makes putting the tampon itself in more uncomfortable than it should be, and definitely taking it out, especially if it's not quite ready to come out, but you're just like, I want this thing out of me. We all been there, and there ain't nothing worse than pulling a dry ass cotton tampon out of your vagina. Sorry, not sorry. So, I am going to take this cup out, and I'm going to show you guys how much blood is in it, again, and it's just always kind of oddly satisfying. And like I said, one of my questions that I was confronted with was, like, well, how much blood is it? How bloody is it? I'm like, it's the same amount of blood. It don't matter whether you're using a pad or a tampon or a cup. It don't matter. It's still the same amount of blood. Just because you're using a cup don't mean there's going to be any more or less blood. It's just kind of all there in a spot. It's not like absorbed into something. And since you are only changing this every 10 to 12 hours, I really wouldn't recommend going any longer than that. It's just all right there. So instead of it all being absorbed into, at little bits of it at a time, it's like boom, all of it right there in your hand. So let's get started. This is my lovely bathroom, and I'm going to show you guys how we do this. So I always recommend doing it. I do it standing up. I kind of sometimes squat a little bit. I'm actually sitting on the toilet right now. I have pants on and everything, so no worries about that. But I always stand like on a towel, and my tablet is kind of at a weird angle, so my bad if like you're not getting the greatest of views. So I always stand on a towel because there is some blood, and this will protect your floor. My bathroom is carpeted, which is probably the worst thing in the world, but this is how we deal, is by standing on a towel when we do anything like this. So, wash your fucking hands, for Jesus Christ's sake. Don't go messing around with this stuff without washing your hands. Okay? That's just common sense. So I'm going to step off camera and wash my hands. Probably should have done this beforehand, but I've been already talking for 10 minutes, so. Washing hands, washing hands. Now I gotta dry my hands. Hold on, I'm coming back. Here I am. Okay. So obviously I'm not going to show you guys the real dirty details of this whole process, but I just took my shorts off if you didn't get that like little notion there. And yeah, here we go. So don't mind my awkward facial expressions, but I'm gonna okay, so at the bottom of the cup there's a little stem, which is what you have to get your fingers on and pinch it in order to get it out. So I have my fingers on it right now, and it always kind of okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, this ain't even that bad. This ain't bad, guys. This ain't bad at all. There's less in it this time than there was when I made the first video. I must have light flow this month. So, there it is. I put this in at 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And this is just under the 7.5 milliliter marker on. It's got markers on the cup to show how much blood you're losing. And it's marked at 7.5 and 15 milliliters, so it's only half full. And yeah, that's it. See, this is the little stem I was telling you about. And that's all that's gone in. So really, that's I must be light this month, and that's fine with me. And like, it's not that bad, you know. My fingers aren't that bloody. There's a little bit on there, but it's not horrible. Again, this is pretty light, so like if there was more in here, it may have been a little messier, but it's oddly satisfying to see how much blood is actually coming out of your body. And again, I apologize for the awkwardness, but it takes, like I said, definitely takes some getting used to, guys. But it's really, really, really great, and it's not a big deal once you're used to it and once you're comfortable. It's just so much better for you. And, you know, I tell everybody the greatest thing about these things is the fact that you can pee and poop in them, and you can bear down. You know, if you gotta poop real bad, you can do that, and you don't have to worry about pushing it halfway out like you do a tampon. You can pee and you don't have to hold your string back or whatever you're trying to do to keep that thing from getting wet so it's not all nasty. You know, it's just so much easier, and so many people are scared. So many ladies, I should say, not people, but so many ladies are scared to try it, and it's so easy once you get the hang of it. So easy. So yeah, I mean, like, that's it. That's all there is to it. So I'm gonna dump this, and then I'm gonna show you. Well, no, I probably shouldn't because I still don't have pants on. But so I'll just tell you real quick. So I'm gonna get this off camera. So I'm gonna dump it, and then what you do, Normally I dump it in my toilet, but I just dumped it in my sink, so it's not a big deal. Um, okay, there she is, all clean. Actually, I'm gonna wash it with, I wash it with Summer's Eve, like the feminine wash. I just put a little bit of that soap, like, on it and just scrub it with warm water before I put it back in. So I'm gonna do that. But real quick, before I do that, I'm gonna show you, like, I've heard a lot of girls be like, how do you get that thing in there? Like, they're so big, like, it's a big piece of rubber. How do you get it in there? So what you do to get it in is you fold it, you crush it down like that, okay? So you just pinch the top so it's flat, like so, and then you do the same thing again, oops, so it's like, kind of like that, okay? This bottom part here is the part I always use, kind of, I'll call it a guide, okay? If you're maybe already starting to imagine what I'm, saying. So this bottom lip right here is kind of the part I always put in first. And so imagine this is Yanni, and you kind of put this part in from the bottom, and then once it's in there, it just kind of pops open, and it seals against your cervix, and you're good to go for 12 hours. So, not against your cervix, but I'm really bad at anatomy, so I'm not really sure of the name. Maybe it's even your cervix. I don't think so, though. And it just seals just like that, and you're good to go. It ain't going nowhere. And when it's time to get it out, you gotta kind of get comfortable with yourself, and you reach up there, you get a hold of this little stem. But what you don't do, because it does create, like I said, this kind of seal, suction seal, you do not want to get a hold of this stem and just pull. First of all, the stem is really short. Your fingers are probably going to be a little wet from either washing them or having blood on them or whatever. So it's going to be hard to get just a good grip on that little thing and just straight up tug it out. You're not supposed to do that anyways. Do not do that, because that can be painful. So what you do is you get a hold of the stem, and then I usually go a little bit higher, just right at the bottom, and once you just give it a little squeeze, it'll break the suction. It'll break the seal, and it'll just pop out a lot easier than if you're just trying to, like, take it out like that. That's awful. Don't do that. It's probably not good for you, and it can be painful. So, it ain't gonna kill you, though. Get one. Practice. Learn how to use these bitches. They're so convenient. Everybody that I talked to in the past, like, 5 days, get one. Girls, do it. It's so worth it. So worth it. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Thanks, guys.